The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café.
Welcome to this episode of Pit Life BBQ. Gather around the pit with your hosts, Johnnie Mags and Messy Mike. Let's talk barbecue.
What's up, everybody? Coming to you live from the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. It's the Pit Life BBQ podcast, where we talk everything barbecue and a lot of other topics that you would normally talk around the pit. As always, I'm joined by Messy Mike.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
Nothing much. How are you? That's not me. That
is
me. I'm
you.
Sorry. That's my alarm that the show's starting.
You have one job. You have one job, and you can't.
And I don't do it well.
No, you do not. Let me share that real quick, then we'll get right into it.
Good?
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure?
I'm positive.
All right. Yeah, we've
had a little busy day for ourselves today.
We did. We were prepping food for tomorrow night.
We got bacon.
We got moink balls.
Moink balls.
Which are beef meatballs in rub, wrapped in bacon, sauce, smoked. We have
lollipop chicken.
Lollipop chicken, which it's going to be my first crack at it, but so far so good. It looks good. And the pig shots.
Pig shots, which I was loving.
Yes.
Little slices of kielbasa wrapped in bacon, thick bacon, so you could fill that shot glass
with a little
cream cheese, jalapeno,
diced jalapeno, cream cheese, cheddar cheese. So yeah, and some rub. And actually, I used Ray's rub on that, so it's phenomenal.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Speaking of Ray,
Yep.
I'm done talking to you.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we've got a special guest joining us, and the one, the only, Ray Sheehan of BBQ Buddha. And
hey, guys.
What's up, Ray? How you doing, pal?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Fantastic.
Doing good.
Fantastic.
Doing good. How's the weather in New Jersey?
A little cold today.
Yep.
It's not too bad. It's still grilling weather.
Oh, yeah.
It's always
every day's grilling weather.
That's right.
At least you're talking to someone in our own,
he can feel that
region.
pain.
Yeah, exactly. So, first, congratulations on the first places, on the first place wins in the World Hot Sauce or the World Sauce Competition.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And so, quick question: what made you? So, are you a chef?
Yes.
Okay.
By trade, yes.
Okay, because I see your stuff in the New England, the National Barbecue News. I see your recipes in there all the time, and they look excellent. So I was like, guy must be a chef because the presentation and the recipes are just phenomenal.
Yeah. My background has been, I've always been involved in food. I worked in a lot of different restaurants. I did go to culinary school, but that doesn't really teach you everything you need to know. That just teaches you the basics. But so I got to learn from working in a lot of different places and just paying attention.
Now, what made you get into barbecue?
I always had an interest in barbecue. Growing up, my grandparents had a farm in Puerto Rico, and I used to spend the summers there. And they did a lot of live fire, outdoor cooking there. And just the smell of the burning wood, and then having the food right off of the coals, and it was just always something I was interested in, and I never really had the courage to try. And to be honest with you, for a while I would go to the bookstore and I would see one of these barbecue books, I think by Myron Mixon, and I didn't buy it because I didn't know what to do, and my wife gifted me a smoker and the book, and it just got my creative juices flowing. And I started with the, cooking stuff with the smoker. And long story short, I ended up helping out a barbecue team and introducing some rubs and sauces that I was making to them. And from there, we did some competition, and I got to see what it was like to do a competition. And then I was like, I was hooked.
You're hooked.
Instantly.
Now, did you start doing competitions with your own personal team also, or just jump and win with other guys?
I just helped out the one team, and then I started my own team because the products that I was making were well received. It was just one sauce and one rub at the time.
Yeah.
And, basically I wanted to, every chef, I think, at one point wants to bottle or package something that they make. So I decided to make a go of it and, try it. And I bottled the Memphis Mop and the Belly Rub were the first two products, and to great success with those first two. I mean, way beyond what I had thought ever could have been possible, really. I'm very grateful and very humbled that they were as well received as they have been.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Kansas City barbecue sauce is amazing. That's by far and I make a barbecue sauce too, but that by far is one of my favorite barbecue sauces. And like I was saying to John, I used the belly rub on the cream cheese, cheddar cheese, diced jalapeno mixture that's going on in the pig shots. Yeah. And I didn't try it. He tried it. And right when you tried it,
phenomenal.
Yeah.
You could just sit there and literally eat the filling itself.
Yeah.
It was just so good. I'm sitting around looking for a bag of nachos or something. He goes, "What do you do?" I go, "You can just have this as a dip, not necessarily even the."
That's what I should do.
Not even just the inside filling of the bacon or even the jalapeno popper itself. You could use it on.
Yep.
You could just use that as regular dip. It was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do make a taco dip using that seasoning.
Okay.
It's low in sodium, so I can use that. Like I'll use that in when I make turkey chili, great on poultry, but it works well with our other rub, the Zen Steak Rub, because that's more of a seasoned salt. So these they work well together on on beef or roasts or steaks, that kind of thing.
So the steak rub, is that, would you say that's more of like an SCA, like a steak competition rub, or is it an all-purpose where you can use it on brisket, steak, any type of beef?
Yeah, I would say any type of beef, and I have some people that love it on pork chops and even on tuna steak or swordfish steak. Like a heavier, meatier type of fish or meat.
Okay.
Originally, when I started making it, I was using it on prime ribs and briskets, and I'm like, you know what? Let me try this on a steak or a burger. Really great on a smash burger with all that crust.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And let me just say this: that means a lot coming from Mike, because I've tried your stuff too, and it's wonderful. And the fact that you can appreciate my products, it's very humbling, because I look up to you and the things that you've accomplished as well. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. And that's crazy. We've never met.
No.
But I consider you a good friend. And there's times where, like at the National Barbecue Association, the conventions, I want to say it was in Jacksonville when the Memphis Mop won first place.
Fort Worth, I think.
Fort Worth, yeah, okay, Fort Worth.
And I have to say, when I got the message from you that I won something, I was like, I'd forgotten what day the contest was. I didn't realize that the awards were going to be that night or that day, and I'm like, really? I'm thinking to myself, maybe he's mistaken, and you're like, no, I'm here, and you won first place. And I'm like, no way.
Oh yeah, I'm looking right here. I hate to call it a laundry list, because this is no way, shape, or form a laundry list.
No.
We have Divisional Barbecue Sauce Championships, World Hot Sauce and Barbecue Sauce 2018, first place World Hot Sauce and Barbecue Sauce Memphis category, first place Vinegar category, first place National Barbecue Association Awards of Excellence, Texas, first place Awards Vinegar category, and the list goes on and on. Then there's this little one that just catches my eye. Quick question of what was the feeling like to get the call on this one? The American Royal Best Sauce on the Planet contest.
Yeah. Now, have you ever been present when you've won?
No.
Really? Okay.
No. Unfortunately, we did very well at the American Royal Best Sauce on the Planet contest for the Kansas City sauce. So, that's a huge honor. Just, that's like out of, what was it, like almost 140 sauces.
Yeah.
To finish, I think we were 11th I mean, that's amazing to me. That I'm very grateful, and we work hard to make these products consistent and to make them without any kind of artificial colors, flavors, preservatives, no MSG, no high fructose corn syrup. Mm-hmm. And I know I'm competing against the big boys in all these contests. Let me tell you, for this World Hot Sauce Award thing, I happened to be looking today at who did we go up against and for the vinegar category. Well, the number 2 and number 3 sauces were the best sauce on the planet last year at the American Royal.
Wow.
And then the number 3 sauce. So at least we're in the ballpark. We're in the game.
Oh yeah.
And taste is very subjective. So I know that it's just like doing a barbecue competition. It can be anybody's day, anytime, and you just got to do your best and put the best product out there.
Oh yeah, depends how the judges are feeling that day.
Right.
But that's something for you. I mean, you're from New Jersey, and you make a Kansas City barbecue sauce that comes in first place in Kansas City.
Yeah.
I mean, it's excellent. I mean, I went to the American Royal a couple of years ago. I entered, when I did I entered my spicy sauce, and I went because I entered my sauce, but I just wanted to see the whole deal.
You have the whole experience.
And I mean, it is huge. It's amazing. I mean, and you probably see this all the time. When you go to a barbecue competition, the people are so nice and welcoming. Oh, yeah. And it's basically like a big party, except when you're actually, competing and prepping.
Right.
But everything else is a big party, and you're seeing your friends every weekend or every couple of weeks.
I just want to make a correction. The Kansas City sauce came in 11th out of 134. So, but it wasn't first place. But maybe next year.
No, definitely. I mean, I came in when I entered the spicy. I came in. I think it was 39th. And I was happy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and a couple years ago, I think 2 years ago, the same sauce came in, in the 60s, and, out of 120. So, taste is very subjective. You never know, but that's why I said we just have to produce a consistent product and one that we can stand behind and just hope for the best when you enter these contests. Like I said, I'm very grateful and very fortunate that we finished the way we have. But that also helps to sell the products. I mean, you make your own sauce, Mike. It's not the easiest thing in the world. You really got to move a lot of sauce to make it.
Yeah.
So
it's very expensive. It's very expensive, and if you don't know what you're doing, it's kind of like car dealerships. If a store likes someone better than you, or they have a better relationship, then they can say that they want to take your product over, or this product over your product. So if you really don't have a broker and someone that's kind of on your side that know what they're doing, you can waste a lot of money and bad things can happen.
I distribute the majority of my own products. So we're in about 90 stores now. I have one distributor that puts us in about 20 stores in New York and Long Island, and then I ship some of them, but the majority of them I'm driving around and I'm going to these stores, I'm knocking on doors, and once we get into a store, I do in-store demos to sell the product, and I'm building it one customer at a time, and that's what it takes.
Oh yeah.
If you don't have a broker.
Yep. Now, are you in any? Are you in like mostly specialty stores and local stores, or are you in any supermarkets?
Mostly specialty stores, butcher shops, a lot of IGAs, which is the Independent Grocers Association. So independent food markets, specialty stores, and butcher shops. That's the primary. I'm in some olive oil stores as well because we have a nice glass bottle, so it shows really nice, on the shelf.
Nice. Now, did you choose? So when I was being told about making sauces and going over all product details, I was told to put it in a glass bottle, one, because it looks a little classier. Two, the product will hold up better than in a plastic bottle,
Yes.
year-wise. And then also a metal cap instead of a plastic cap because it'll make the product fresh longer as well.
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, those are basically the same things that I was told. Although my bottler switches kind of back and forth between the different caps, depending on what they have available. But I think most of the time lately we've been using the metal.
Okay.
And it does hold up better to me. I mean, I'm not going to argue with winning contests. You know what I mean?
No,
like
exactly.
You can put it in a plastic thing all day long. It does kill you on shipping. And then you have to, worry about breakage. You just have to wrap them really well if you're shipping them. And it does add a little bit more weight. But those are trade-offs that I'm willing to take because I feel like I'm trying to differentiate my product from, barbecue is such a crowded category, in these stores. It seems like everybody's got a great recipe for barbecue sauce. So any way that you can differentiate your product from someone else's, you have to, look at all of the pros and cons and see what works for you. But any way that you can separate yourself from the competition is the way to go.
Oh, 100%.
Got one of our friends, Mike Jordan, has a two-parter for both of you guys. When you guys bottle your own sauce, do you have to put a nutritional facts label on or ingredients label? And the second part is, and how do you get that information to put on there?
So, do you want to take this?
Sure. My answer would be yes. You want to have that information on there. FDA requires specific guidelines to how you list your ingredients and what the nutritional facts should look like on the bottle.
Correct.
What should be like right now they changed it this year, earlier this year for the calories have to be larger. The number associated to the calories has to be larger. So there's specific guidelines you can look up if you go to the FDA government website, and it'll tell you what the specifics are as far as listing ingredients in what order and what the NutriFacts panel should look like. And the other question is, I can't speak for Mike, but for me, my products went through the Food Venture Lab at Cornell. So they provided, for a fee, the NutriFacts that I would list on my bottle.
He's correct. If you're looking to, I'd say if you're looking to get a sauce started, or you have a list of ingredients that you think will work, it's best to find a co-packer. And what I did was I looked for the smallest co-packer I could find. Just because when you start looking at co-packing and the gallons and the pounds that you need, you're talking one, serious money right off the bat, and two, where you're going to store it. So I chose a guy who's out of Greenfield, Mass, and he does, I think the smallest is like 90 gallons. So I chose him. I sent him my recipe. He takes the recipe. He converts it from, I have like ounces and cups. He converts it to grams and, different type of measure. He sends it out to a lab. That lab will go through like Ray said, the nutritional facts and the ingredients list. And then from there, it gets tested for pH levels. And you want your pH levels basically dead nuts in the middle. And then that means, and I think dead nuts would be what, 3.7?
Yeah, it's around there.
Okay.
I haven't looked at that in a long time, so I don't remember.
And that's shelf life. Okay. And that basically will determine how long it can last on the shelf and, vice versa.
So that goes on your best buy date.
Yep.
So that goes into the expiration date process of figuring out how long you have on that.
Correct. And like Ray said, the ingredients label is the very first ingredient is what what contains the most of, and then
Right.
the very last ingredient is,
so it actually tears down as the
correct.
list.
So you need to get that
that's
perfected as well.
interesting.
So my co-packer sat with me and we worked on it, because you're making a label, you're making a lot of labels. You don't want to get it wrong and mess up and have to do the labels again.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too is, if you're a new person, new at making sauce, and you're just starting your company, getting a graphic designer that knows what all of the USDA guidelines are, or the FDA guidelines for labeling, is a really huge help. It takes the guesswork out of it for you.
Yeah, because they'll almost basically line everything up for you. You don't have to give them a template
Right.
or anything. They'll take care of it.
Right, like they'll know what the government is requiring, and it just makes it a little bit easier. And what I say is, when you get the proof of your label, look at it, and then go to sleep, and then wake up and look at it again,
Yes.
and go through it line by line. Because when you print thousands of labels, you want to make sure that there's not a misspelling or there's a number off milligram. We had a problem one time where the milligrams were supposed to be grams or something, and we had to reprint, and it was just
It's a nightmare. It's something that you don't want to have to do again.
Definitely is a nightmare.
Now, when you so one mistake I did was when I did my the retail rubs, the small jars, I didn't put a decaking agent in.
I don't either.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing with that is I don't put a lot of brown sugar in it either. So if you, I don't know about yours, but if you have a lot of brown sugar and you don't dry it out first, that's going to make it cake up. So one thing that you could do is put a little note on the bottle to say, ingredients may settle, give a little tap on the side of the jar. That should loosen it up, or something like that.
Okay.
I don't use an anti-caking agent. There's really nothing. My products are super clean. There's nothing in any of them. There's no, polysorbate or any kind of something you can't understand, can't make out.
And that's huge nowadays too, because with all the allergies, the gluten-free stuff,
right?
You have nothing, so your product is available for everybody to enjoy, which is really nice. Because that's one question I get all the time. Catering, is it gluten-free, gluten-sensitive, not any, all this stuff. So
what is this decaking?
Decaking
Stuff.
So a decaking agent is you can use I believe you can use rice flour as a decaking agent.
There's a few different things. One of them is a wood product, and one is rice, and that's to separate all the granules. So this way it flows much smoother and doesn't.
So your rub's not clumping.
Correct.
In the bottle.
So it flows.
I didn't know that.
Free, yeah.
See, I'm learning a ton right now.
Yeah, it's a decaking agent. So you don't, and so I'm going off the topic for a minute, and you don't have to give any secrets away. But so you make your own sauces and rubs, but you also compete. So, like you said, a competition is depending on the judges, depending on the area, you have to kind of change for that flavor profile. Are you using your products, or are you using whatever you think you can win with that competition?
I always use my products as at least as the base for everything that I do. Okay. So there are other products out there that I like, and I might tweak something here and there, but I always use my products, and I sponsor 5 different barbecue teams as well, and they use my products. So now that being said, I do some competitions. I've cut back a little bit just because for me, I'm really trying to make a go of it as a business. So when I do a competition, I'm spending a ton of money, and I love doing it because it's for charity and it's fun. But at the end of the day, I have to be able to feed my family and myself. So I've cut back on some of the competitions, and I'm doing more, farmers markets, in-store demos to try to really get the brand out there. And this way I sponsor barbecue teams, and I let them go out and, I've done okay at competing. And I wouldn't say I'm breaking any records. So I'm having a good time, and we've done very well, a few times. But it's more about marketing the products and having a good time. And like I said, they're all for charity, so it's a win-win.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, because our friend Mike, he's in the process of starting up a beef jerky company. So
nice.
he actually posted a picture of a batch he did last night.
Oh, really?
Oh my God!
Looks good.
Oh, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It almost looks like the chunks.
Yep.
Instead of the thin
strips.
Oh,
nice.
Like the nuggets.
Now, Ray, do you so instead of not just retails, but do you sell gallons as well? And 18
I haven't
ounces?
gotten into the gallons yet. I've had some interest, but unlike you, I have a co-packer who's a very large co-packer with large packing capabilities. So as far as the sauces, if I take a run of my sauce, I have to take – it would be a huge run and money for me to sit on.
Yep.
When you sit on a lot of inventory, you choke your cash flow. And right now, I mean, my minimums are, I'm upwards of 220 cases, 225 cases of product.
Yep.
19-ounce jars. So I want to say their kettle is around 300 gallons. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm not filling the kettle just yet, but I'm getting there. And to do a run of gallons, I might have to take. So, the demand isn't there yet. I'm sure if I did a run of them, I could, I'm sure I could sell them eventually. But, right now I'm just trying to keep the 4 products I have in stock and I'm ready for the barbecue season. I just took on a couple pallets of the Memphis mop. So this was actually great timing to win for the Memphis mop. We're going to be at the Atlantic City in Atlantic City at the Showboat for the Mid-Atlantic Barbecue Expo coming up on March 8th and 9th. If you guys are in the area, swing by. I know it's a little bit of a ways from you, but it's going to be – there's a massive competition there, barbecue SCA competition as well. There's going to be dozens of barbecue vendors. It's the Mid-Atlantic Barbecue Expo at the Showboat Casino.
Okay. Yeah, my buddy Dan Bosworth from Big Dan's Barbecue out of Pennsylvania, he'll be there.
Oh, great.
Him and Denise are heading down, so that's cool. Tell
him to stop by the BBQ Buddha booth.
I definitely will. So, and also, who asked the question? Mike Jordan?
Mike Jordan.
So, and Ray, when you said you now have 4 SKUs.
Yes.
You want to just explain to Mike what a SKU is? So if he is looking into his own sauce and actually getting into stores, that's something that you need. And I think,
sure.
So a SKU, to me, a SKU would be a UPC, right? So you go to like GS1.
So there's a couple different places you can get your UPC number. It depends on what your end goal is. If you want to get into the big box stores, my advice would be to go to GS1 and get your numbers. Would be what you would consider clean numbers or unused numbers in consequential order specific to your products.
Yes.
If you are just going to be selling to mostly independent stores and specialty stores, then you can go to easyupc.com and you can buy reused numbers. Usually you don't run into a problem with that unless you're trying to get into a big box store. The price difference is huge. I mean, I paid like, say, $20 per SKU per number for mine, but you can pay, hundreds of dollars for them. For each one, you could pay probably, $600, $700, $800.
Yeah, I pay. I have 3 of them, and I pay $50 a year through GS1.
Okay.
And I think it's anywhere from, I think once you get to like 4, then it steps up, more money. And then, so on and so on. But yeah, so UPC and a SKU is the same. I wish I talked to Ray earlier because I would have went that route instead of the GS1 route.
But yeah, with the season coming up, that's right. That award couldn't have came at a better time. I gotta take someone's temperature. I have to get a couple bottles of that.
Now I know you're big into the NBBQA and the National Barbecue Association, the National Barbecue News. Are you planning on going to the convention at all in Kansas City this year, or?
I was just looking into flights. I think it's just going to be out of my reach.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just picked up a whole load of rubs and 2 pallets worth of sauce, and I may have to stay home with those and try to move them. But I would love to go to, the Awards of Excellence and NBBQA Bash in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. That's my goal to get there.
Well, I think it'll come in, if not next year, then very shortly after.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Ray, thank you for joining us. Where can everybody find you, social media-wise, websites?
My website is bbqbuddha.com. It's BBQ, BUDDHA.com.
Perfect.
Right.
Awesome.
All right.
Ray, thank you very much. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much
Thanks for
for
joining us, Ray. Well, that's it for this week, guys. We'd like to thank you all for joining us. We'd love to hear from you. Please send your questions and comments to pitlifebbqpodcast@gmail.com. On social media, you'll find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram at Pit Life BBQ and Pit Life BBQ Podcast. Can't catch us live? Find us on iTunes and other podcast carriers. Just hit like, share, subscribe. Most importantly, share it with your friends. We keep growing every month. I know I keep saying it, but it blows my mind. The new followers every week and every week. So hopefully we're doing something right.
Yeah.
But
we're keeping the smoke rolling.
Hey, that's my line. All right, guys. Until next week.
Take care.
Thanks for joining us. Keep the smoke rolling.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.